Welcome back to Wealth Brief. Here at Platinum Point Financial. I'm David. I'm here with Charlie, and we're here to elevate your financial future. And so, if you're a new Big Law associate, this video is just for you. You just graduated from college. Congratulations. Now you're starting your first job at Big Law. We're going to kind of go over those first 5 years, what that's going to look like for you. So, starting out, you're making a lot more money than you had in the past. But let's be honest, a lot of that cash just kind of disappears out of your account pretty quickly if you don't have a strong plan behind it.
Absolutely. In today's video, we're going to walk through what some of those smart financial decisions look like, all the way from year one to year five as a Big Law associate. We've worked with attorneys for years now, and we've figured out how to help them control some of that burnout feeling, avoid some of that lifestyle creep, which inevitably is going to come back to haunt them in the future. So, starting with years one and two, what we refer to as those training years, not just professionally, but also from a financial perspective. And with the finances, you obviously have limited time to look at a lot of these things. You're being consumed with long billable hours, and to make your life easier, we've always recommended to automate, right? Set up from a finance standpoint and saving standpoint, automate that from a month-to-month standpoint. So every paycheck at the end of the day is going to be working for you.
Absolutely. And take advantage of your employer benefits first, right? So automate your 401k. Put at least the max in that you can. That if you have a match with your 401k, if your company matches, put that match in. Some firms don't, most firms don't. If they don't, put in 5 to 7% at least into that 401k. Start building that balance up. I like 10% better, but do what you can. But set up automatically so you're just used to that money coming out.
Yeah. On the cash flow side of things, that already mentioned it before, but lifestyle creep is going to eventually creep up into your life, right? You're going to begin networking with other professionals at your firm, across a number of firms, more than likely. And what's going to come is once you get that nice income, you're going to start upgrading, right? Upgrading your where you live, what you drive, even your level of travel. And one thing we've always mentioned to starting out associates in these couple of years is to give yourself a little bit of a buffer, right? Try to, for the first year or two in Big Law, level out your expenses, avoid upgrading that, and so that your income that's coming in can work for you that much better.
Absolutely. Yeah. With that 1 to 2 year buffer also, before you decide to jump into that nicer car, that nicer apartment, but up your emergency fund now. Get 6 months of expenses set aside, not just what you're spending today, what you anticipate that next lifestyle for you to look like. Bonus season is a perfect time to really build up that expense fund for yourself. And when you do build that up, don't put it just in your bank savings account. Find an online high yield savings account. You can really maximize your returns and get some extra money for you for free by saving it that way. Now we're kind of transitioning from year 1 to 2 to 3 and 4. So now you really want to optimize and protect. So that just means where can you optimize your savings in terms of your investments, getting as much money as you possibly can from that savings account, but also from other investment accounts, but also protecting yourself as well.
Yeah. From a risk management side of things, an underaddressed area we typically find is umbrella insurance, which ultimately is really excess liability coverage. So your auto insurance will cover you for a certain amount. Same thing with your homeowner's insurance or your renter's insurance. But that may not be enough, right? We live in a very litigious society. So the last thing that we want to happen is a lawsuit getting in the way of building up your net worth.
Absolutely. And as you're building up that, you're protecting yourself there, a great way to build your net worth even more is by opening up a taxable brokerage account. So don't just rely on your 401k to get you there. Let's start saving money into an investment account outside your 401k. So the extra surplus savings that you're saving every single month, invest that into a smart brokerage account for yourself, being tax efficient with that. We're going to build up that tax now bucket as much as we can.
Yeah. And chances are at this point in your life, year three, year four, you've started to probably build out your family a little bit. Maybe you have kids at this point. And with that is always a great time to take a look at your estate plan. At the end of the day, no one's invincible, right? It's not something we typically want to even think about, talk about, but it has to be addressed, right? So starting with the basics, living will, power of attorney, healthcare directive, those are all critical to your financial plan and something that should be addressed sooner rather than later and knocked out.
Absolutely. Now we're entering year five. And quite frankly, year five is where we find it's almost a crossroads for a lot of attorneys. Burnout is starting to hit for a lot of people. You work a lot of billable hours. You work really hard over the last couple of years. Do you decide to get the partner out? Do you go somewhere else? This is where you really have to come up with a strategy and a plan of what's next for you. So create that exit strategy. Even if you're not ready to leave yet, just be thinking about what that looks like in the future for you.
Right. Yeah, working with some of our clients, I mean, we've had, some move in-house, some to a smaller firm that might provide a little more work-life balance. Some go the government route or maybe a completely different career path altogether. But at the end of the day, you want to run those numbers before making that transition. Proactively plan for such a career pivot so that you know going into it what everything is going to look like as opposed to making the change and then just making adjustments along the way.
Absolutely. Great point, Charlie. And this is the point where you really want to hire someone to help you with this process, right? You're working a full-time job, you're managing as much money as you can at this point. Hire someone to help you make these decisions and run the numbers for you to see what makes sense, what can you do and what can't you do. Um, that's what we're here for. We're here to help create those catered plans for you, to make sure that we're looking out to see what your financial goals are, how you want to achieve those goals, and make sure you're in the right path for it.
Right. And to wrap up today's video, Big Law really can be a life changer. It can set you up financially for your life, not just your life, but also your family's life. But setting up those systems, habits, disciplines are critical in order to get you there, right? And when speaking with our own clients and other folks around, this is, in the beginning of starting their career, they start having these questions. Hey, am I doing everything that I need to? Right? This is such a precious time, not just in my career, but starting out with finances. Am I paying my debt off correctly? Am I managing taxes efficiently? What do I do with some of this extra cash I'm sitting on? And addressing that in the beginning is always the prudent route as opposed to just kind of letting things go by and that stress starts building up.
Yeah, look, if you need help building that plan, definitely reach out to someone. We're here to help you where that we can for you also. It really comes down to just making your life simple and easy. So, we appreciate your time in this video. Hope you learn a couple of things. Hope we're able to help you. And if you need help in the future, reach out to us. Thanks. We'll see you next time.